What's going on, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Zone 864 podcast. I am your host, Trap the Don. Thank you all for joining me this evening. What's going on, Instagram? How y'all doing out there? We are uh, multi casting this evening, which I normally do on a well, not a daily basis, but every time I go live. So we are streaming live on my personal Instagram page. It is a private page. So if you try to go on my Instagram page, you'll have to request me as a friend, and I'll have to vet you, and make sure you're not the feds before I accept you. So Instagram, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Leave your comments if you want to. Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button. Write your comments. YouTube, hit the like button. Hit the. You can share it on from Instagram, from my YouTube. If you want to find me on YouTube, you can go to just type in Zone 864 podcast on YouTube, and that will take you to my podcast YouTube page, Zone 864 podcast on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is at podcast Zone 864, at podcast Zone 864 on Twitter, and then also, if you want to follow my public podcast page on Instagram, you can do so. Just go on Instagram and search Zone 864 podcast, Zone 864 podcast. That will get you to my public podcast page for the Zone 864 podcast. So I hope you all are having a great day. I hope you all are having a great week thus far. Happy Thirsty Thursday. And instead of indulging in the in the I'll be trying to get sophisticated. I'll be trying to get in the zone. So sometimes it takes me a while to get into the zone. Rather, since it is Thirsty Thursday, rather than indulge in alcohol, let's do something a little bit different. Let's indulge in water. Let's indulge in water. It's summer. It's hot outside. Our bodies are 70% water. We need water. We are liquid specimens. We're more liquid. We have more in common with water than we probably do with anything else in this galaxy. So yes, rather than fill your body with alcohol, let's flip it around. Let's start building healthy habits, and let's observe Thirsty Thursday by drinking water and drinking your electrolytes, your Powerades, your Gatorades. But above all, let's turn Thirsty Thursday in a good way. Let's flip it around and let's drink water. We need to drink more water. You need to be drinking, I believe if you're an adult, you need to be drinking up to 8 glasses a day. Water is good for your skin. If you're having digestive issues, that could simply be fixed by drinking water. If you're having issues losing weight, that could simply be fixed by drinking water. So yes, even though my preferred alcoholic beverage is tequila, we're going to flip that around today. We're going to drink water today. Matter of fact, let's drink some water right now. Okay, so I don't have that much time. I just wanted to come on real quickly, and because I haven't been live in a while, uh, I'm about to go pick up my daughter in a minute and spend some time with her and talk to her and find out what's on her mind. These kids go back to school in a couple weeks, and yes, make sure you spend time with your children. It's very important. They be knowing when mom and dad neglect them. These kids know they're smarter than we think they are. Remember when we were kids and we would notice things that people do. We would notice things that our parents do, our grandparents. Well, the same way that we used to think about those things and wish that we could go on vacations or wish that our parents would spend more time with us. Our kids nowadays, they do the same thing that we did when we were young. So we got to break the cycle. We got to make sure that we spend time with our kids. Again, I'm not going to be on here long. I just want to go live because I haven't been live in a while. So congratulations to LeBron James. And normally I have my whole intro, I have my whole theme song that I play before I go live. And as you guys are coming into the podcast, do me that favor, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, whether you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Let's, support your boy, part of the Black media. So again, congratulations to LeBron James for becoming a billionaire. I know a lot of people feel a certain kind of way about LeBron James. A lot of people feel like LeBron James could be more active politically, socially. And then, some people just love the shit out of LeBron James. And where I stand with LeBron James is I stand in the middle. I stand in the middle when it comes to LeBron James. And let me tell you why. First of all, I'm a Kobe fan. So LeBron James came in the league in what? 2002, 2003. And, I've been a Lakers fan since probably about 98. So Kobe was my guy. And Kobe retired in 2016. So, it was always when Kobe was in the league, it was always that rivalry of, is Kobe the best? Is LeBron the best? And the way that I see it is that, I'm a ride or die. Just like Jordan fans were fans of the Bulls and the Jordan. More specifically, they were fans of Michael Jordan when he was playing, because a lot of those fans that used to watch basketball back in the day, they don't watch basketball. It's like when Jordan retired, they stopped watching, and it's just like me. When Kobe retired, I stopped watching. I didn't have a reason to watch basketball anymore, so I just stopped. And then not to mention, I actually lost my appetite for sports. Also in 2016, 2017, when the whole Colin Kaepernick situation happened. For me, I take being Black seriously. I take being a Black man seriously. And, when we have our cousins, our brothers, our fathers, our uncles, going out there in the football field and literally, getting in these physical car crashes, getting in this physical altercation where you just literally you're bashing your brain into the skull, into the helmet of another man week after week after week. And, they use you up in the league. And then next thing you know, a lot of these players, when they're playing these sports, they get, especially in the NFL, it's more prevalent in the NFL because it's such a physical sport. The NFL, this league, it takes these players and it exploits these players, uses up their likeness, makes millions and billions of dollars off of these athletes' names. And then next thing you know, when these athletes retire, they're basically drug addicts. They got to go back home and they got to live with their girlfriend. They got to live with their parents. They got to live with homies. And so, that whole Colin Kaepernick situation really turned me off from sports. And I just figured that, as a black man, I'm not trying to say I'm pro-black or anything like that, because I do believe, when it comes to, like, let's say something like interracial dating, I'm a person that believes that anybody could date who they want, you know. Um, but I am a huge supporter of black people, you know, trying to black people loving each other and coming together and creating black families. I'm a huge supporter of that, but at the same time, when it comes to something like interracial dating, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to, it's just because I'm trying to get so much out with so little time because I got to leave here shortly. But yeah, that's my thoughts on, the just sports in general. The Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks just had the NFL, the NBA Finals. Shout out to Milwaukee Bucks. Shout out to Giannis for bringing home that trophy. Well deserved. Giannis is one of my favorite players in the NBA. He has that LeBron-like image, which is, no controversy, doesn't really speak out on political issues, doesn't really talk too much about social things, which could be good and not so good necessarily at the same time, because these athletes, they have big platforms, and obviously when they speak out on injustices and they speak out on certain things that affect young people, these athletes really have a lot of influence, and so unfortunately, a lot of young people tend to listen to these athletes and entertainers more than they will listen to the parents. And that's why it's important for parents, as a parent, that you spend as much time, that you try to have a strong of a connection as you possibly can with your child. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when your child starts reaching that preteen area and that teenage area, is gonna be tough, because I got a daughter right now, my daughter 12, and she is in that preteen area, and she's going through her hormones. And her mom, when my daughter gets an attitude, her mom will call me and say, you need to talk to your daughter. And then I have to talk to my daughter and find out what's psychologically going on in that young hormonal brain of hers, to try to help her think and resolve the problem. But and again, guys, forgive me, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but shout out to LeBron James becoming a millionaire. Let's take a look at some specifics here. So LeBron James is the first NBA player to become a billionaire while still actively playing basketball. And keep in mind, guys, LeBron James is still pretty young. He's only 36. Let's take a look here. And the Space Jam movie just came out. Now, with the Space Jam movie, I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews. Some people are saying they loved it, and then other people are saying, you can't. It doesn't live up to its name. It doesn't live up to its original. And for me personally, I try not to play that game. If something, guys, you got to understand that when these originals are made, these are one of a kind. So these, it's like when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying. There's only one Get Rich or Die Trying. There's nothing. 50 was never really able to recreate. I mean, he gave us The Massacre after that, which personally is one of my favorite albums of all time, and my favorite 50 Cent album, The Massacre. But keep in mind, he was never really able to recreate the Get Rich or Die Trying after it was made. And so we can't always expect all the time, when somebody does a remake or a part 2 or part 3 or a spinoff of something, we can't always expect that it's going to be, as good as the original version. or better than the original version, because when somebody creates really good art, a really good piece of work, we just have to appreciate it for what it is. Now, obviously, um, you know, I haven't seen it yet. I do plan on seeing it. I don't know if I'm going to go to the movies and see it. Maybe I might take my daughter or something, because I don't have a TV, and I don't have cable and Disney Plus and all of that. Like I'm not even at home enough to have that kind of stuff. Like when I'm not, working my 9 to 5, or when I'm not talking to you guys, or when I'm, uh, I got a kid. I'm raising my kid. Like I'm always doing so I don't have time to sit and watch TV. I wish I did, but I just don't right now, because I understand the value and the importance of time. Um, and it's important. I'm 32 years old, and so I realized that one day, I'm gonna get old. I, I'm gonna get older. I don't necessarily want to, view myself as old, but I'm gonna get older, and I try to take care of myself as best I can, so that I can be around for my kids as long as I can, my grandkids as long as I can, live my best life as long as I can. Um, and so I realized the value of youth. When you think about youth, you could be in your 50s and still be youthful. Now, obviously, in your 50s, you're not going to be 35 or 25, but if you take care of yourself the right way, um, your body will take care of you. So you can be youthful well into your 50s if you take care of yourself. So, but while you're in your prime youth, it's important to put in that work. Don't waste time watching TV. Don't waste time on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't waste time. Invest your time in building yourself up, especially if you're a man, a male, biological male, especially if you're a black man, because as we can see now, we're in the midst of a paradigm shift. You guys noticed the NBA finals ended a day or so ago, and then immediately the next day they want to start putting up all of these commercials, and putting up all of this information via the news about the shot, about taking the shot, about talking about um, virus levels rising, talking about going back into a shutdown, talking about bringing back in the mask. We are in a paradigm shift right now, and times will never go back to the norm as we knew it, because again, we're in the midst of a paradigm shift right now. We are in the midst of a new world order. You know, uh, and so it's really important, especially while society is open, is as open as it's going to be at this point in time. It's important to take advantage of that, and it's important to invest your time and your energy in the right place, so that in times of chaos, um, your time, the time that you invest, you'll get a return on your investment later on down the line. You get a return on your investment when you need that investment, when you least expect it. So I just really understand the importance of taking advantage of my youth and taking advantage of my time. And I just don't have a lot of time for nonsense. But yes, Mr. LeBron James, age 36, has became a billionaire. Space Jam made 31.6 million on its opening weekend, so that was a win. Quick few bags for LeBron James. He's earned $330 million thus far playing in the NBA. He was drafted in 2003, and then he's made a whopping $700 million from off the court income through endorsement deals, merchandise, licensing, and his own media production company. Some of his endorsements include AT&T, Beats Electronics, Blaze Pizza, GMC, Nike, Pepsi, and Rimowa and Walmart. So roughly he makes about $100 million. So those are just a few. Those are just a few. And you know what's really crazy is, you know, I used to be in this mindset personally of, you know, a lot of guys, I've talked about it often, but you know, as I'm an artist myself, rapper, producer, engineer, for so long, I used to be like, yo, I want to focus on just one thing. I want to focus on being good at one thing. But what happens is, and that's all good, you know, people want to master their craft, and they want to be able to get, to bring the best out of themselves with their talent, with their, you know, within their field, with their craft. But the problem is, especially when you have kids, the problem is that sometimes it takes a long time to do that. And so, you know, there comes a point in time where you have to say, you know what, I need more than one form of income. If I'm trying to, if what you have to do is you have to build a base of things. You have to build a capital base of things. Multiple 5 streams of income, 5 streams of revenue is better than 2 streams. It's better than 1 stream of income. And so what's happening is a lot of black athletes, a lot of black entertainers are realizing, you know, hey, Jeff Bezos owns this, that, and the third. Bill Gates owns this, that, and the third. You know, and what's happening is they're seeing the blueprint. So, you know, I just watched the interview with Shaq, and Shaq is a part owner in, I think he said 50 companies. And so again, especially in these kind of weird, strange times, 50 streams of revenue is better than 1 or 2 streams of revenue. So we have to learn, as well as we get older and we're building a legacy, you'll be able to do more with more streams of revenue than you will be able to do with less streams of revenue. With that being said, though, you have to be careful, and you can't really, you don't want to take on too many things at one time, because when you do that, then you won't be able to focus on the one thing that you really want to focus on. So you have to be really careful, and you have to know how to dabble. And that's a very important word, especially when you're trying to build a legacy, when you're trying to build a business, when you're trying to raise your family. You don't have to be great at it, but you want to learn how to dabble. So that way you can build multiple things up at one time. So those multiple things will allow you to focus on the 1 or 2 things that you really want to focus on. So back to LeBron. And the fact that LeBron is not even 40, the fact that LeBron is only 36, I'm 32. The fact that LeBron is only 36, not even 40, and he's a billionaire, that's amazing to me. You know, regardless of how people feel about LeBron, you know, we all think, you know, let's be 100% real. We all think that these athletes could do more and they should do more. And these athletes and entertainers that are in tune with society and that are really in tune with themselves, if they're really being honest with themselves, they should be able to say, you know what, I can do more. I should do more. You know, LeBron got the school popping off. You know, LeBron's doing a lot of good things. And, you know, I just really want to go back and touch on one thing. The funny thing is, because like I just, you know, said at the top of the broadcast, I've been a Lakers fan basically almost my whole life. More specifically, a Kobe fan. And it wasn't watching basketball that made me want to say, you know what, I want to become a LeBron fan. What made me become a LeBron fan is when I saw him open that school. When I started researching and I see the way that he spends time with a lot of these organizations that deal with children. And so, and a lot of that stuff doesn't get talked about in the mainstream media because, you know, that's not going to get the clicks and the views like it will when LeBron James is dunking the basketball. But as I started hearing and reading more and more articles and seeing it, I'm like, you know what? I like this dude. I like LeBron. Let me not be a LeBron hater. Let me not be such a tough LeBron critic. Let me not, you know, trash him every time they have a crappy game. And this was when he went back to Cleveland. So really, I really didn't like LeBron until he went back to Cleveland that second time. And the fact that you know, he brought the city of Cleveland that championship too. LeBron James is really a talented person, really a talented black man. You know, and he understands the value. You know, his wife is black, his kids are black. And again, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm not one of these people out here that, you know, say, oh, you should only date black women, or you should only date black men. Although I do push the nuclear structure of a black family, which black man, black woman, black children. However, if you get with a black woman or a black man and you're not black, the children's still gonna be black anyway. So either way, it's gonna be some blackness. But I'm just saying, I you know, I like the fact that his wife is black, his children are black. I like the fact that he stayed true to his roots. You know, because when you're in those type of Hollywood spaces, there's a lot of pressure. And so a lot of these guys out here, you know, they tend to get with, shall we say, mixed or non-black women to try to fit in, when in reality, you know, you got to do you got to do what's best for you. And it doesn't really matter what other people think. So salute to LeBron James for becoming a billionaire at the age of 36. Salute to LeBron James. Look forward to talking about more great things that he's going to do in the future. Look forward to watching him still dominate the game of basketball. He is with my favorite team. He is with my team right now, the Lakers. We didn't get that chip. And remember, it's Thirsty Thursday, y'all. So instead of drinking alcohol today, we're going to switch it up and we're going to drink water, because you know, our bodies are made of 70% of water, and we need to drink water. So make sure y'all drink water today. Make sure y'all get in the habit of drinking enough water. Yeah, I just look forward to looking at more great things that LeBron is going to do. This young man is going to go far. So really quickly, because I'm about to wrap up here, Dr. Dre is back in the headlines again, back in the news again. Dr. Dre is ordered to pay his ex-wife almost $300,000 a month in spousal support. Did somebody say it's cheaper to keep her? Damn. I know Dr. Dre is a billionaire and all, but and you know, I've been seeing people talk about it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know, seeing people do videos about it on YouTube and stuff like that. And here's my thoughts about that. My thoughts about it is that Dre's a billionaire. And if he's not a billionaire, then he got to be almost there. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that Dre's a billionaire. $300,000 a month ain't nothing. I think he got to pay spousal support for like 9-10 years or something like that. So that's like $3 million. That's like 35 million or something. Excuse me. If I'm just doing some quick math off the top of my head, that's like 35 million over a 9 to 10 year period, something like that. And that's not, you know, that ain't nothing to a boss, but to us, that sounds like a lot. You know, 300,000 That's a lot of money. 300,000 a month, you know. So to all you black men out there, especially, I ain't even gonna say that because I'm not trying to start nothing this evening. All you black men out there that got some money, y'all better try to figure out how to work it out. Y'all better try to figure out how to work it out. Because one thing is for certain, two things for sure, is that when she take your ass to court, you will be paying. So if you chose to get down on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?" and she said, "I do," and y'all took them vows, and you in the wrong. Now I know things happen in marriages, but if you in the wrong, if you know you did wrong, you better work. You better work your behind off to try to fix the problem. Otherwise, you will be paying. You will be paying. You know. So to us, 300 to us regular folk, $300,000 a month. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot for regular folk like us. But for somebody like a Dr. Dre, somebody like Jay-Z, Puffy, hell, somebody like LeBron James, you know, 300,000 a month ain't nothing. Like these dudes buy $300,000 cars and $300,000 boats all the time. You know, I mean, they got houses worth millions of dollars. You know, they probably $300,000 with the right shoe collection. They probably spend $300,000 on shoes. So, you know, it's too bad. It's too bad it didn't. You know, they couldn't stay together and work it out. But maybe being, uh, maybe being apart is for the best of both parties. Dr. Dre can move on. His ex-wife can move on. So one criticism though, two criticisms before I get out of here. The first criticism that I have about Dre, three things, three things. Three things. You know, I know a lot of people out there, Dre's sexuality has been up in the wind for years now. And with me, you know, I don't care about people being gay. I don't care about people living their truth, living their life, living the way that they wish to live it. The only time that, you know, I'll say something about, you know, transgender or gay or whatever is when the government is implementing its plan to put that in our children's mind and to try to, you know, brainwash us into certain ways of thinking and think when they try to push certain things on us. That's really the only time that I might say something that might hurt some feelings, because I don't live in the world that I don't live in the same world that a lot of people live in. I'm not one to just go along. If I have something on my mind and I feel like something should be said, then I'm going to say it. And if it costs me something, then that's what it is. But I'm going to say what I have to say. Who cares? Who cares if Dre is gay or not? Who cares? Who really cares? Who really cares? Yeah, so that's one thing. The second thing I want to say is that Dre gave like 70 or 80 million dollars to, I think it was UCLA or the University of Southern California, one of those schools over there. Now, why not take that money and give it to HBCUs, even though HBCUs are basically almost becoming extinct? They're becoming more and more like PWIs, private, primarily white institutions. even though why would you give USC 70-80 million dollars when you could easily give that money to HBCUs and send thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of young black men and young black women to these HBCUs? Why not? That, the cost of these HBCUs is a lot less than probably a year at the University of Southern California. So I didn't like that. And I know he did it because his daughter went to that school or something of that nature. One of his kids went to that school, and so he made a donation to that school. But I didn't like that because, there's a need. I think that young black men and young black women should be able to afford to get their education from an HBCU if that's where they want to go, even though our HBCUs are basically turning into primarily white institutions. I think that would have been a better choice for Dre. I think that would have been a better look for Dre doing that. And then the last thing I want to say about Dre is Dre is the reason that all of these rappers, all of these producers, because remember, Dre was supposed to drop Detox a long time ago. Dre is the reason that all of these rappers and producers get, and I can testify to this and I can speak on this because I became the same way until I'm like, you know what? I got a lot of good lyrical content. I got a lot of good beats. I want people to hear this. Like, I'm not about to sit here and sit on this beat for 5 to 10 years. Dre is the sole reason why a lot of rappers and producers sit on beats and sit on raps and they get in this creative space where they feel like it's too good to be put out. Now, y'all got to stop that, man. If you in a good zone, because artistry is meant to be seen and heard. Music is meant to be heard. That's art for the world. So don't fall into the Dre. Dre is the reason that a lot of these rappers come out with these, tell us that they're working on these super albums, but then they get all this pressure and then they never put it out. Or you get producers that think that they make beats so good that they can't be heard. Dre is too worried about, he got caught up with, trying to outdo the Chronic and outdo the Chronic 2001. When in reality, it's like whatever you put out, Dre, is going to be good. People are going to flock to it regardless. It don't matter. Like, don't hold yourself at such a high standard. Just be creative and put it out. Don't get in that zone where it's like, man, like I can't stop trying. No, like you create a project, you create a film, and that's what it is. And then you just do your best. You put it out. Art is meant to be seen and meant to be heard. And that's all the time I have this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And one last thing. And I'm gonna talk about this in a later broadcast. Black people, stop renting. Stop renting. It's time to get serious about your life. It's time to get serious about your legacy. It's time to get serious about your children's future. Stop renting. Go save up, start working on getting yourself some land and a house. Work on getting yourself some land and a home. Stop renting. Stop being pimped out. Myself included, because I'm renting right now. Stop being pimped out by these landlords, making these landlords rich. It's time for us to boss up and put ourselves in a position to be successful and build our legacies and get into ownership, because in a lot of these rural places, they're now starting to industrialize. They're now bringing a lot of these rural places into the future, which means that around the country, which is already going on now, and I know it's going on heavy in my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina, they're modernizing these rural areas, which what's going to happen is the property value is going to go up everywhere. It doesn't matter what city you're in. So stop playing games and strategize and work on things daily to get yourself in a position to own a home, own a condo, own some land. It doesn't matter. Just own something. When you own something, there's money in that. Own something, sit on it for a year or two, or however long you want to be there. Let that equity build up, and then flip it and get some money out of it and do it again. Or stay in that house, save up some money, use your equity to buy another property if you get a house that you live in, and still live in your house that you want to live in, and buy another property. I'm telling you guys, because I've been looking around and I've been noticing some things, and some places that I used to live, I'm like, damn, they want 1,500 to live here. They want 1,500 to live here now. When I was living here in 2010, and I was only paying like $700 a month in rent for 2 bedrooms. They want 1,500 now. So from 2010 to 2021, the rent done went up like $700, $800, which is ridiculous. When back in the day, when a certain area, because what's happening is they bringing in a lot of these technology companies, a lot of these corporate companies, and when they're putting these buildings down, it's driving the value of the real estate up, which means that if there are homes for sale, the prices of those homes near that area. Sorry, I lost connection. Okay, we're back on Instagram, which means the value of those homes in that area go up, which makes it more difficult for people that are looking for houses to buy because the price goes up. So stop playing games. We got to get smart. We have to own. We have to invest. We have to start businesses. That is the wave of the future. So thank you guys for listening. Again, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. I will talk to you guys soon. I love y'all. Peace out. Be good. Be safe. And drink water. Peace.